Hey everyone, it is me, the Galactic Princess, and I'm back with another video of Ebon Light. So we're gonna be playing... Okay, that was loud, okay. It is currently storming a little bit, so I just want to say you're gonna hear some thunder, you're probably gonna hear some rain in the background. So welcome back to part 3 of Ebon Light. Let's get into it. So last part we were captured by the man in the woods, or the elf in the woods, and we were captured by an elf named Lacey, and we're being taken to their island where we are going to be like just basically he just took us when he wasn't supposed to, like his one team. Jeez. Oh, that sounded like a damn explosion. We're gonna get into this gameplay. Far from home. Come morning, Apple. Ooh, it's raining harder. Come morning, I had gotten a little sleep. I had spent the night lying still in my hammock, marveling at all the things I didn't know. I couldn't stop wondering about the Conhinto and what it might do to me. The hopeful part of me had rendered the Conhinto physically in innocence, if only because it had been a day and a half and I was still fine. But the other part of me, the part of me that also recognizes my situation aboard a massive ship destined for a place I'd never been, filled with people I'd never seen, would remember that there must be a reason for all of this. I feel like she's gonna see like all the coolness of it. Like, I feel like that's what she's gonna see. The rain sounds very nice outside. And yeah, so I feel like she's going to see things that she's never seen before, and I think that would be a good experience for her. Granted, the situation, but you know. There simply had to be a reason Lacey dragged me aboard. A reason he was sent to find the Conhinto in the first place. If nothing else, I was tangled tightly in a web I could barely understand. Around the time the elves who had been sleeping when I first arrived were waking up, lying still, with only my wonderings had become too much to bear, I quietly snuck out of my hammock and made my way back into the passageway. I just realized, y'all, we still gotta read like those things. The compedendrum. I don't know how to say that. Yeah, the hallway was busier than it had been the evening prior. The majority of the elves were moving in one specific direction, deeper into the ship's hold. The jumbled sounds of the elves speaking to each other hit me with a realization their language was not my own. Ooh, I hear fire trucks, y'all. Or is that a fire truck? Or ambulance? That could have been like a transformer, a big transformer or something. It sounded like 3 explosions. Like, dang. It shouldn't have come as a surprise, but it did. Perhaps it was because the elves I've spoken to so far all knew my language, but now that I was giving it some thought, that was very strange. Follow the majority of elves deeper into the ship, go back to this deck. Let's follow them. Let's see. I decided to follow the elves and see where they were all headed. The elves themselves didn't seem to notice my presence. I blended in seamlessly so long as I kept moving. We'd only walk a little deeper into the ship before a scent began to fill the air. Food. Even elves have to eat, it would seem. Well, yeah. The smell was coming from a dark room lined with narrow tables. It was crammed full of noisy, hungry soldiers. Though it was difficult to pick out faces in a cramped hive of identically dressed elves, I spotted Commander Calipo in the crowd. Should we call her Callie? Commander Callie or Calipo? You know. Because I don't know if I'm saying her name right. I think it may be Calipoa. I don't know. I began to approach her cautiously, eavesdropping on the conversation she was having with a small crowd of other elves. Not that I could actually understand what they were saying. Oh, it's the human. Did you get any sleep? I didn't manage to escape her notice long. A little, no. Let's just say a little. A little. A little lie, anyway. Commander, this human. Ah, but the other Chandler would have to answer that. The other, the Onyx. That's the one. She's that special request of his. The tone in the curious elf's voice suddenly went sour. He and the rest of the little crew that had formed around Calipoa began to disperse, though not before sending me glances as though I carried the plague. Sorry, something I said. What was that? Why are they leaving? It has more to do with the Onyx Chandler's influence. Don't take it personally. I scoffed. If you're here to eat, help yourself. No one is going to stop you. I nodded, and so it seemed I wouldn't starve. Well, maybe not. I wasn't picky, but I had yet to see exactly what elves ate. Hopefully not. Well, it's not cannibalism if they're elves, is it? Chin up. Make yourself at home. You might find we grow on you. Oops, I did not. Oh, I went backwards a little bit. I think Vaden's around here somewhere. The commander took her leave after that. Not wanting to make a spectacle of myself, I followed the flow of elves around the room. Stay a while longer, leave for the deck. Let's stay a while longer. I had to circle a second time before I spotted him. Vaden. He was sitting at one of the packed tables. The look on his face told me he was very surprised to see me. I watched him hesitate, then stand, and make his way towards me. Then I watched an elf swoop like a vulture into his spot. Oh, dang, they took it. Are you alright? Shouldn't have given up your seat. You do ask that a lot, don't you? I've been better. Well, I'm in one piece. Did you manage to get any rest? No, I had a lot on my mind. I keep hearing noises outside, y'all. I keep hearing noises. Freak me out for a second. I'm sure. He avoided eye contact for a few seconds. Has anyone given you any trouble? No, not really. Evidently, being property of the Onyx Chandler carries weight. You're not property. That's true. Don't ever say that again. Raven. I've been tainted by him at the very least. You should have seen how the other elves fled. Well, on the bright side of things, at least no one will bother you. Just as well. It's very strange to be ignored. Just as well. From what I've seen, that's probably for the best. I agree. So, why are you being kind? You agree. Yes. Why? Don't think I can make friends? Fair enough. Don't think I can make friends? Oh, come on now. I'm sure we'll all be best friends. I suppose we're not all bad. You might find some friends. Do you suppose I'll have to learn your language? That's right, you might, though you'll find most of us speak your language instead. And why is that? It's exceedingly common in this side of the world. Really? Yes, that came as a surprise. Is there a plane going by? Jeez, okay. Yes, I guess I always thought our language was just ours. Do you want to go up on deck and get away from the crowd? It might be easier to breathe. I looked around the crowded mess. It seemed to be even fuller than it had been when I first arrived. Alright. And so I followed Vadian through the ship's passageways, and the two of us went up to the deck. Ooh, I love the art. I love the art of this game. The sky was bright compared to the ship's mess. Not much less crowded, which I found a bit amazing. Wait. Oh geez, sorry. I keep going backwards, y'all. Maybe that's a good thing because I thought I was supposed to. At least we're not packed in by assume. Jeez! I keep hitting that button. Sorry, y'all. He waved a hand towards the sun. Okay, this is Haran Millirose. You are a very strange woman. Lo and behold, another elf. He was not wearing either of the uniforms I had come to associate with scout or soldier. And though his curiosity was unnerving in context, he seemed less hostile than most of his kin. I'm not the only strange one. That's not nice. What do you expect? I'm not the only strange one. You're a little strange yourself, no? Why aren't you wearing one of the uniforms? You certainly take things in stride. An admirable quality. Not one I expected from a human. Why? I'm not special. I'm special. Why? Why not? You people don't often rise to the occasion unless the issue is forced. Haran, what are you trying to achieve? And what do you think you know about my people? Or my issue? Don't you think anyone who cares to listen has heard their ears full about you by now? A human abroad isn't typical. And you're very interesting. Aren't you excited? Excited? What reason would I have to be excited? Lots of reasons. But I guess it's a matter of perspective. Wonder if they're brothers, or maybe they're cousins. He did say we'll find, like, the others. Enlighten me. I doubt that. Enlighten me. Lots of reasons, such as... Has it struck you as odd that you've been given free reign of our warship? It should. Perhaps you wondered why you're not in chains. We do have a thoroughly operational stockade of a sort. And Lasiga's keeping his eye on you, but you're not under full guard. And what should I take from that? No one knows what to expect of you. Majorly? Let me ask you something. Have you noticed anything odd? Sensory changes, noises, feelings? Answer honestly. Fish for information. Refuse to answer. Let's fish just for information. Maybe? Can you be more specific? Do I need to be? Most people don't consider odd noises, sensory changes, or very unusual sensations to be all that mundane. At all mundane. I'm not currently living my regular life. Then I'll submit. How about colors you never noticed in quite the same shade before, or noises you can't place? The eerie weight of an unseen, unnatural presence, perhaps the feeling of shedding your skin. What? Haran. I suppose no. Haran. Irno. You're not supposed to be here, Haran. Yet another elf approached. This prompted a sigh from the first. Haran and Irno, brothers, my cousins. Oh. How much of your family is aboard this ship? This is what you call inconspicuous. You couldn't at least try to blend in? Calipo gave me permission not to make an ass of yourself. Then the new elf seemed to finally realize I existed. And he seemed confused. What? What? Who are you and why are you? If you thought I was charming, Marjorie, just wait until you get to know Erna. My brother has the grace of an elephant. Why is the human aboard the Bastion, Heron? Evidently, the Onyx Chandler sent Lasiga out after her. I'll have you know, I'm not thrilled about it either. Why? I'm not sure. I'm sure he has reason. Not that he needs one. You already have the human trophy. She's not human. She's half. That doesn't matter. What does Dulai want with this human? I focused my attention on the first elf, Haran, who seemed to know something he wasn't telling. Unfortunately, his attention was focused on me in return, but both of us stayed silent, willing the other to speak first. Go ahead. For the love of the heart, this is not the time or place. Neither of you care to explain. Both of you need to get off deck, especially you, Haran. She's not getting in the way of anything. She will. Raven, you don't have to listen. You don't have to tell them anything. Thank you, Bed. I drank the Cahintal. I don't know anything. Should we tell them? Or should we just leave it for their imagination? Oh, hit my elbow. I drank it. I inhaled a deep breath. I drank a spice Lacey referred to as a marrow, the Cahintal. I knew it. His palpable excitement did little to comfort me. So, what's going to happen to me? After consuming Cahintal, I'm surprised you're alive. Ernal. What? So it is poison. It is poison after all. Somehow in my gut, I knew it to be true. No, calm down. The fact remains you are alive. What? Wait, hold on. I gotta do his voice. I forgot. I get so caught up in this. Okay. No, calm down. The fact remains you are alive. What does that mean? That's a truly fascinating question. It's lost whatever potency it had over the years. It never worked quite the way Dolly thought it did. Both is possible, yes. But you hope for something else, of course. Of course, the potential is. Excuse me, the explanation. I'm trying to explain. The explanation is that this is so unusual, and unknown that no one knows what will happen. Not actually information, was it? I can't even tell you with complete certainty what the Cahintal is. It's all muddled up in fragmented history, lost, retold, obscured, guessed at. So much that the likelihood that what you ate was actually Cahintal, that Cahintal actually exists, is slim. But if it was real and anything like what our historians thought it would be, you shouldn't be alive. So as it is, something is off. Something is wrong. Or someone is lying. I would be thrilled were that the case. It was Lacey who declared my spice to be your Cahintal in the first place. Then all the more likely that someone is lying. I don't know, Arnold. His machinations are rarely hollow. Machinations? He afforded one misguided and gullible leap into nonsense every now and then. Quite the leap, Cahintal. What about vibrations? Do you feel like you're underwater? Haran's attention had snapped back to me. No! If it was Cahintal, just because she's not dead yet. Can you be more mindful of who you say things around? She has the right to hear this more than anyone, don't you think? Tell me what you know about the Cahintal. What at least you think you know, even what I drink was not actually the Cahintal. I want to know all I can. Right, of course. The Cahintal is an ancient marrow, referenced through the oldest of our preserved history. The information is fragmented, so ultimately all we can do is guess at how it was used. It seems some of our most prestigious warriors were connected to the Cahintal, our leaders. Some believe they laced their weapons with it, others believe they mended their wounds with it, some believed they consumed it. As you have. I could have really done without him looking so excited at the fact. And it was an oddment. No, that's not the right word. Alright. But what did it do? It enhanced them somehow, made them stronger, or something else. The references are always vague. Something big, but obscure. The reigning theory, it enhanced them at a cost. This is why my brother seems to reject the idea that you consumed the Cahintal and are still alive. If he wanted the Cahintal, and this is what he got, Dulai won't be pleased. Well, if he doesn't want her, oh, he will. I just don't think he'll be pleased. Haran, I told you to keep out of sight, you maggot. Ernal groaned. Vaguely, meanwhile, seemed almost relieved. This is on your head, Haran. Nevertheless, Haran seemed unfazed. Try to keep note of anything odd you might feel. Bear it great attention. It could end up extremely important. Allow yourself plenty of rest. Every nuance, even the barest of threads, tied to the Cahintal, it's all invaluable, in affluence as well as influence. Okay, sorry, I went back a little bit. And that is why the Onyx Chandler wants me? One of the reasons. Dooley calls himself the Onyx Chandler is because he is one of our foremost entrepreneurs, and Galilean entrepreneur is by nature. Well, don't mind that. If you would like rather a different, slightly more eccentric picture, I will string you to the mast, and there you will stay if you do not. He's going. I have to go. Keep precious care of yourself. Ernal watched Haran and Kalpul move away. Though Haran had seemed irreverent at first, he was now moving off as quick as he could, appearing thoroughly cowed. I should get to my station as well, now that I've been spotted. Try to think before you speak, Ernal. And then, all that was left was Ernal. Tried to talk to him. He wasn't paying attention to me, still watching the space where Haran had disappeared. It seemed he was considerably less interested in me than his brother had been. That was a bit of relief. Okay. Your name is Ernal. Surprised, he looked back to me. Yes. He's kind of cute. Look at his little gauges in his ear. Gauges. Yeah. Silence hung over me for a second. You are Raven. Ah. What more do you know of the Cahintal? Is your brother gonna be okay? Can you tell me more, the Onyx Chandler? What do you do? Let's get to know him first. What is it you do aboard the ship? Why? Why not? I hadn't had the chance to talk to many of you, and you at least speak the same language as I do. I am a soldier. We all are. I'm currently tasked with assisting the ship's quartermaster. It's not exciting. What were you doing near Edric? I can't tell you that. Then, he sighed. Alright. Is your brother going to be okay? He's in trouble, isn't he? Yes, he's not supposed to be aboard. Calipo is notoriously quick to bend rules as far as Gillian commanders go, but the fools who take advantage, too much advantage, are bloodied and broken. Is that what's going to happen to Haran? No, not the way he probably deserves, but she is our cousin and family counts for something, even here. Cousins, huh? Vadin mentioned that. Yes, Ernal Millirose, Calipoa Millirose, Vadin Millirose, all tied by our grandfather. Okay, so they're all related. Okay, except for, I think Lacey. I think Lacey's not related to anything, so yeah, lucky him. I'm glad he'll be okay. I'm glad he'll be okay. But yeah. Well, for what it's worth, I'm glad he'll be okay. Are you? Yes, I don't have to be fond of him to be glad he'll not be made bloody and broken. I suppose. What more do you know of the Cahintal? Can you tell me more about the Cahintal or not? My brother knows more about it than I do. It's a fascination of his. But if you're asking for my personal opinion, it's far less optimistic than Haran's. I don't think the Cahintal was a secret treasure or a secret power. I think it was a punishment. So that's why you think it'll kill me. I think if that was the Cahintal and you did consume it, you'd be lucky if all it did was kill you. I didn't know what to say. Dang, that's dark. I'm sorry. Perhaps I could do with some tact. Can you tell me more about the Onyx Chandler? It seems it seems like you know the Onyx Chandler. Do I? I do. We've known each other for years. If you're hoping to gain insight into what he wants with you, you'll be disappointed. He keeps his motivations to himself. Not always, but my loyalty is certainly not with you. What did I do to you? So he's your friend. Okay, so he's your friend. So I suppose you and Delay are close. Close is an odd word. Then whatever you want to call it, it's comforting. Makes him seem less like an imposing shadow, more like a person. Him being a person should be any comfort, but I will say that you probably have less to fear from him than Lasiga no doubt made it seem. Don't take my word for it, though. The lie is not always predictable. I don't want to be a begrudged thought as you find yourself strapped to a table with your stomach split open. That's all. I'll leave you alone then. He nodded and wasted no time going on his way. Wow. Alright, y'all, this is the end of part 3. But first, I wanted to read some of the people things, because we now met a lot of people. So, we're gonna go ahead and start with let's go with Calipoa. Calipoa Millirose is a newly appointed commander in the 1st Division of the Forces, under the rule of her uncle, General Lane. To say that her accession was all due to familial favoritism would be a grave mistake. There have been few who mastered a sword as fast as she, and fewer still who coupled this skill with drive and presence. Calipoa is the only daughter of Recklin, and I don't know how to say that, but her parents, the second eldest princess, her mother is the princess of the reigning Lorien king and queen, and Recklin, her dad, the second eldest son of Galois, and yeah. Although one's pedigree often means little in Galia, she is undeniably a pride to her family, and given the status of her family, a pride to all Galia. But those who know her personally have remarked in hushed tones, she is not always so laudable. Okay, the next one is Vaden, because we already did Rylan and Vanya. Vaden? Okay. The loveliest boon comes from a barren garden, but so unaware of itself, so surrounded by prickles and weeds, it will either think itself no better or think itself hopelessly lost. The mystery of how Vadian managed to cultivate such a soft heart in such a forgiving atmosphere, no less how it was managed to remain uncrushed in 6 decades. Vadian has been alive, piques the interest and ear of many. He is, they will say, surely destined for tragedy, eventually to be consumed or snuffed out by the pressure. To his fortune, Vadian has no interest in complete surrender just yet. His is a quiet, perhaps ridiculous optimism, which nets him a few allies and many enemies. He has become self-sufficient, prone to dreaming, and forced on occasion to become uncomfortably bold. Okay, so he's a love interest of ours, so he's a little heart. I think that's what that means, because, yeah, I think that's what that means, love interest. Badin. So is Lacey. So I think we already read Lacey's last time. I think we did, but we'll just read it because I don't remember. Were one to ask after Lacey among his superiors and peers, they would likely have nothing remarkable to say, unless they were to find his particular demeanor insulting, or happen to have great admiration for skill with a bow. Lacey has had a few minorly impressive moments in his military career, but nothing which sent ripples through the forces. Just enough prestige to get him saddled with a scouting partner like Vadian Millirose. Lacey seems unbothered by his slow advance, as though this too is a calculation. For all intents and purposes, Lacey is an ideal soldier. He relies on intimidation and aggression to get his way, unconcerned with little beyond serving the forces and living a quiet life. He does have a few curious connections with the Onyx Chandler, and some might say he keeps himself too close off from his peers, but no one is concerned about Lasiga, and that suits him just fine. Okay. Okay, I don't think we read that last part. So now we're at Harun. Harun is a master of capitalizing. He takes the hand he's dealt and makes the most of it, all the while seeming to thrive no matter what way he's forced to adapt. A critic might say it would be easier to roll with the punches with your lot in life. Lot in life is wealth, power, and empathy. But Harun isn't concerned with justifying his existence. He sees the world in his own particular way and uses his means to achieve personal goals which other Gillians perceive as frivolous or pointless. It has been considered that were Harun to ever set his sights on a larger ambition, he might be a force to be reckoned with, eerily capable of talking, buying, manipulating, bribing, and threatening his way in and out of all manner of things. Perhaps thankfully, his concerns have always been personal and serving. So he is as well another love interest of ours. I don't know why Calico is not a love interest of ours. Don't get it. Okay, next. Ernal. I think it's Ernal. Some people take strangeness in stride, but others find little worse than being outside the commonplace. Ernal was born in the middle of a interfamily war of wills, an instant pawn in a game he had no interest in playing. His tale is not overbearing expectation of or unforgiving duty, which he craves, but rather an expectation to rebel. He was born to the prodigal son, not the demanding general or his more esteemed sons, who enact his high stakes, strict rules, and perilous demands of their children. There was nothing asked of him but to revel in the role of an upstart, to bask in the freedom he was offered outside the confines of expectation. Instead, he found himself craving for approval from Gallia. He embraced his grandfather's legacy instead of his father's, wishing to be more than an outcast. He has a blistering temper, indignant pride, and unnerving determination, all of which thoroughly blinded by desperation. So if I had to choose right now, like, out of all of them, I would most certainly like going towards like Bedian or Lasiga, but Ernal maybe. Harlan's not that bad either, but we'll have to read more. But anyway, that was more of what we learned. I think we read this last part, Larry. Oh, okay. Seems like we got this too. We gotta read. Oh, she's pretty. So if you guys want to read this, pause it and read, you can. So this video doesn't go on to like 40 minutes. So, yeah. So if you want to go ahead and read that, you can. And I just want to say thank y'all for watching this video, and thank you for staying this long. You stayed in this video, and I will see you later. Bye, y'all.